Well, we're back right here on the weekend show, and I hope everyone out there is having a very nice evening and you're enjoying this week's episode of the program. We have with us our second guest tonight. We have with us David Farouqi, and Mr. David is the president of the jury of the International Invention Fair in the Middle East that's going to be held in the state of Kuwait. David, welcome to our program once again.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be back.
Nice to have you once again right here in the state of Kuwait and the big International Invention Fair of the Middle East. Now, when is it going to...
In the Middle East.
In the Middle East.
Okay. We changed the name.
Okay. When is it going to take place? Where at?
Okay, it's starting on Monday. Actually, in the afternoon, we have the opening ceremony, which is also going to be for the VIPs, Monday afternoon as of 5 o'clock. For the public, it will be on Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 o'clock in the morning to 12:30, and from 4:30 to 9 o'clock at night, thereby on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. And we have the closing ceremony for the inventors on the Thursday as of 6 o'clock, and that is where they will be notified and they'll discover if they've received any medals or any special prizes.
Okay, looking forward to that.
It is actually, sorry, you asked for the location. It is at the Kuwait Science Club, which is on the 6th Ring Road in the Al Zahra area, which is next to the 360 Mall. And the Kuwait Science Club actually has fixed tents set on their grounds in which the fair is going to take place.
Is this event open for the public to come and visit?
Absolutely. We have a number of different criteria of people who come. We have a lot of students who like coming because it's very interesting, they have a lot of curiosity, but we also have a lot of professionals who come because professionals today are looking for other venues to make investments. Inventions are now something which I wouldn't say is a fashion, but it is also a way to proceed with developments which are cheaper by buying in than actually having to go and develop them themselves. So you have a lot of professionals who are entrepreneurs who either are looking to buy inventions or to integrate inventions in their activities or to help finance them to be part of the marketing at the end.
What's the overall aim of this fair?
All inventors have one wish, that is to make money. So their wish is basically to sell their invention. So they always come to these fairs, whether it's in Geneva or now Kuwait, which are the two main events around the world of a certain level of credibility, because they feel that they have a chance of meeting an investor who can either give them the money and help them finalize their project, or an investor to which they can sell their project.
Well, that's funny you say that because inventors, I think the most challenge that they face is getting something to finance their project.
That's exactly it. That's why they come to these fairs. Because a number of inventors have an idea, they're able to develop it to a certain point, some get blocked at a certain level, their invention has a viability, but they have the inability to obtain the financing because they don't have it.
So they come on display, show their product.
Exactly. I mean, I know inventors who have practically sold their house and their wife to try and get to the end of their project. And they haven't been able to get to the end, but they have found seed money or an investor who will help them get along.
So tell us now, David, what categories are going to be judged in the fair? And tell us about the basic organization that got together to get this thing going.
Well, actually, the Invention Fair encompasses everything. It goes from renewable energies through the medical right down to mechanical. There is nothing which is not considered an invention, and there's no field which is not addressed. I mean, it can be from agriculture as well, it can be toys. So it really, the scope is complete. If there's something that has been created, it can participate. There's no constraints at all in that respect. The organization, what happens is that a lot of inventors, they try and register in our company online. And we receive thousands of applications, but we have limited the participation to about 170 to 180 inventions because we want to try and get the cream of the crop due to the prizes we have. And this has entailed that we create something that doesn't exist in other fairs, which is a selection committee. This selection committee then has to process all these inventions. They have to try and get an idea what they really are, because strangely enough, inventors don't always have the ability to explain what their invention is going to do or how it does it. So when you're reading their description, sometimes you don't have the foggiest idea what they're talking about. So this committee has to go through all these papers and through the patents that they have to submit to try and make the selection. At the end of that process, you then have, as I said, 170 to 180 who are then authorized to come and then they make their preparations to be able to come here. We help them with the fair by, I would say, picking up most of the costs, but they have to finance their plane tickets to Kuwait.
So how many are participating this year?
Right now we have about just under 180 inventions.
From how many countries?
38 countries. We have 38 countries represented, which is
Around
quite
the
high.
world or
Around the
just
world.
the Middle East?
No, go around the world. We go from Mexico right across to Malaysia. We
Okay.
have China, which is here, China through Taiwan, who has a very strong presence this year. I think Taiwan alone has come with something like 42 inventions.
Wow.
So they've got a very heavy presence. Iran is usually a very big player in this field, and this year I
that's
think they're
right.
about 20 or 25. But we have people from France, we have people from Belgium, Germany, Tunisia. We have the GCC. We have
So
Saudis.
worldwide.
It is a worldwide fair. That's why we use the word international.
International. Yeah.
Initially, we wanted to create a platform for the Arab inventors, but then we decided, well, let's make it international completely. And so we went out and we brought more countries. So we have 38 nations now which are represented here, which is not bad because Geneva is about 50 to 55, and Geneva is the most important international fair in the world. So we're not
Kuwait's
far
getting
from
up
them.
there then, huh?
Kuwait is getting up there. They're doing a very good job, and it's only been 5 years.
Excellent.
I mean, we've been there for 5 years only, so it's a fairly young, but it has managed to attain what I would call the second spot with respect to credibility in the invention world today.
Great to hear that. And now, David, speaking a little more about Kuwait
Yes.
and the inventors here and the inventions, can you elaborate? Tell us a little bit about
Yes,
that, please. I'm sure our local audience would like to know about
Absolutely.
that.
I mean, I've obviously seen the descriptions of all the inventions, but as I just said, sometimes it's a pretty hard time developing and trying to imagine what the actual invention is. But there are two inventions, two Kuwaiti inventions, which I would like very much to see. One is, which is very oriented probably towards women, is a perfume vendor, whereby you create your own perfume by yourself. And it's you find the right smell, so that's what the description says,
Okay.
and then you produce it on the spot. So you can tailor make it.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So I'm curious to see that one. The second invention that I saw, but actually that one I happen to have pushed further than I've actually seen it, is what they call an encapsulated fire extinguisher. And that I think has an absolutely phenomenal market value. So the Kuwaitis in that position, I mean, those two inventions I'm looking forward to see develop much more. But there are other inventions which I think are very interesting. There's a Swiss-Belgium company called Shop Alive, which has developed a program which I think every operator of a shopping mall or proprietor of a shopping mall really must go and see, because that will really enhance his productivity. As I said, there's another company called Polycare, which is from the UK and Germany. They've come up with a new polymer, hence the name Polycare, to manufacture bricks out of sand, but stronger than cement.
Wow.
That's a very interesting product. There's a very interesting thing from Saudi Arabia, which is a non-invasive, for example, hemoglobin measurer. So that I'm curious to see. And then we have Romania, which has been coming to Kuwait from the very, very beginning. They've been very present.
Yeah, before you go on, tell us about the story we talked about before we came on air.
Which was,
About
remind
the
me.
Romanians coming to Kuwait.
Oh yeah, this
That's
is
very
one
interesting.
success story.
Yes.
We invited last year a Romanian research center, which is privately held, who has 8 departments in numerous fields, and they came here to propose a new product, which is for roads, which reduces the cost of building roads, and with a duration 10 times, well, not 10, 5 times longer. And they came to Kuwait. And they found the potential in Kuwait so phenomenal in the region that they're actually transferring their whole company from Romania to Kuwait.
Wow.
In fact, out of the 8 departments, 7 of them are going to be established in Kuwait.
Wow.
Excellent. That's great
That's
to
a
hear
real side
that,
issue.
and
I
that's
mean-
a very nice thing to hear for the state of Kuwait. And
Absolutely.
David, our time is moving by very quickly.
Sorry.
We're coming towards the end
Yep.
of this segment, but can you briefly remind us now about the fair, when and where, very briefly, once
As I
again.
said, 6th Ring Road, next to the 360 Mall. It's starting on Monday afternoon for the VIPs, but otherwise for the public, it's 9 to 12 on Tuesday and 4:30 to 9 Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay, we look forward to this big international fair, and Mr. David Farouqi, we'd like to thank you so much for joining us this evening on the Weekend Show.
It was my pleasure to be here again. I
Thank
look
you.
forward to next year.
Thank you so much, or any time in between too. It's always our pleasure.
Your pleasure.
Thank
My
you
pleasure.
very much. We were speaking to David Farouqi, the president of the jury of the International Invention Fair in the Middle East. looking forward to that event right here on the Weekend Show. You'll be seeing some of that next week, and make sure to go out and visit also. But right now we're going to take a short break and then be back with some more of our segments. Stay tuned.